the 44-point lead at the half, or 42-point lead at the half.
Gucci!
44-point lead at the half. They were down 82-38. That's the largest lead the Celtics have ever had at halftime in their franchise's history.
Who were the two big white guys? The one guy was on the team a couple years ago. I didn't recognize the other guy, number 40.
Hauser and Cornette.
Okay, Cornette. He's humongous. How tall is Cornette?
He's tall.
He towers over TJD.
2 points. Sam Hauser, 12 points.
He had the block on Kuminga, the block on TJD.
Yeah, he had 12 points.
Hauser was hitting everything.
Yeah, he was 4-9 from the three-point line. Derek White, he was hitting 4 or 5 from the three-point line. Tatum was 4 or 5 from the three-point line. Brown was 5 and 10 from the three-point line. He scored 25 points in the first half, and that was a big talking point after the game. The strategy of the Golden State Warriors defending Jaylen Brown. Now, here's what Kerr said about sagging off of Brown.
You try different things. You have to pick your matchups. We wanted Draymond to be able to help on drives and make sure that we weren't giving up easy stuff in the paint. The killer was the transition from the beginning all the way till the end. They got 42 transition points, so you're not winning a game, with that kind of defensive or lack of defensive awareness.
42-12 when it came to fast break points yesterday in Boston. 42-12 advantage Celtics.
Okay, now maybe I am exaggerating this, and I'm not trying to. This is kind of a game like I'd like to see what Pods looks like against that kind of team.
Right.
Where like his hustle and his rebounding and his ball movement and stuff. I thought they looked very congested offensively in the half court. It felt like Curry was getting blitzed and they were going full court with him. That they were switching up different guys on him. It was Jaylen Brown, then it was Derek White, and they were really making him work. And Curry just looked off. He looked off.
He was off. They all looked off. They're all off yesterday. And it happens in the game. Look, season low for points in the half. The Warriors scored 38 points in the first half. That's the season low. They scored 42 twice. This is the third largest halftime deficit in NBA history. There's just so many numbers where it's just like, record here. But back to the strategy for a second.
Okay.
Because I do want to play this Draymond Green sound. And Draymond Green talked about the strategy they implemented against Jaylen Brown. Here's Draymond Green.
I don't think we really played a full defensive strategy to kind of dive into that. We didn't implement. We implemented our strategy like 15 minutes before we left the locker room. So I don't necessarily think we put together a full defensive strategy to debate on what they're doing with their offense and how to stop it. But hey, it ain't work. Oh well, we move on. Hey, it ain't work. Oh well, we move on.
I kind of like that.
I thought it was fun to try. I was actually all for it. Like, let's try it and see if it works. If it don't, oh well. If it does, we found something. All right, it ain't work, so we move on.
So we move on. Now, here's Jaylen Brown, who lit him up. And here's what Jaylen Brown had to say about the strategy. He felt a bit disrespected.
What goes through your head when a team does that to you? First time it's ever happened to me. Honestly, I was a bit surprised. Took a little bit of adjusting, but I think we just took advantage of whatever that attempt was and just made the best of it. For the most part, my job is to get to the paint. We got enough three-point shooters on our team, so I don't take a lot of threes, or for the most part throughout the season, because we got enough of that. I get to the paint, and I usually open it up for everybody else. But if you want to dare me to shoot, we can do that too. You know what I mean? I thought it was a little disrespectful, but we took advantage of it and we didn't look back.
It's not we just throw words around now in society flippantly. Disrespectful is like spitting on someone. You know what I mean? Like allowing a guy to shoot because you're laying off of him because he's a 30% three-point shooter is not disrespectful. It's just, come on, man. You're playing basketball. Like it's not disrespectful. I know he didn't mean it like that, but it's like, come on, give me a break. And nor do I think like sadistically, the Warriors aren't prepared to play basketball because they're coming up with strategies 15 minutes before. I'm sure that they try a lot of things out at the last second or are thinking of things, and we don't know what goes into the preparation of these games on road trips and whatnot. Right. So I don't know. I'm not losing my mind one way or the other. Warriors looked like they were at the end of a road trip. They were tired. They had their superstar walking around with what looked like a bum knee a little bit. And they needed a little jolt. And I think coming back home, they'll get their jolt. But I will say this. I'll say this. Boston clearly wanted that game.
Boston wanted that game a lot more than the Golden State Warriors. A lot more. Jaylen Brown mentioned it at halftime. Yeah, it's not lost in the back of our minds that they beat us in the NBA Finals a couple seasons ago. He brought it up in the All-Star game saying, man, mentally, we're not ready. So, look, they disrespected Jaylen Brown, let him wide open. They dared him to shoot it. He made him. The game plan would be different if these teams meet later on down the road. Draymond Green, it was funny, though. The game plan, hey, man, we implemented this game plan 15 minutes before game time. Maybe they watched Jaylen Brown warm up, and he was clanking everything. It was like, you know what? Let's leave him wide open. I don't know what goes into a game plan. When you come in with a game plan, did you work on that? Obviously, there's not going to be a lot of shoot-arounds because of travel day on Saturday, especially after what happened going from New York to Toronto. So, look, man, the Warriors are playing with the free roll. They had won the first 3 games of this road trip. You had a successful road trip, 3-1 overall. Now, the cynic will say, well, you beat the Wizards and you beat a short-handed Knicks team. You know what? Don't apologize for wins. It is what it is. You beat the teams in front of you, you handle them in front of you, and you move on. The Warriors, beggars can't be choosers. You got to stack wins, and that's what the Warriors did on this road trip. They stack wins.
What are they, 3-17, 3-15 against teams with a winning record or whatever?
Something like that. It's not pretty. It's not pretty.
So are they more the team that beats up on the weak teams, or are they more of that other team?
What do you think?
What do I think?
Yeah.
I think that it's very difficult to call, like, anything from the first 2 months of the year. I almost want to not throw it out, but it feels so different. They're a much different team today than they were in December. Like, I look at Podziemski is a better player today than he was in December.
Right.
Jonathan Kuminga is a totally different player.
Right.
Totally different player. Like, totally different player. I think Klay Thompson's a different player right now. Ever since he put the leggings on, I confuse him and Lester Quinones so much. Am I the only one?
Compression socks or whatever it is.
Well, I'm not used to seeing him with the compression things. Yeah, the leggings.
No, look, they're
different.
Completely different.
Yeah.
They're completely different. They haven't been at full strength playing the Denver Nuggets. They missed a couple guys against the Minnesota Timberwolves. Steph didn't play in that second game against Minnesota. Draymond and Klay got ejected a minute and a half into the basketball game. So you throw out some of that stuff. I'm not going to look at the record over 500. I'm going to look at the form of basketball they're playing, the brand of basketball they're playing. My eyes tell me the Warriors are playing a lot better basketball right now. So, yeah, would you like to see some of these wins? Mm-hmm. You're going to have a chance against Dallas and the Lakers 5 times over the final 22 games of the season.
Teams that you're going to be vying for.
The Pelicans. Spots. So you played the T-Wolves, the Pelicans, you played the Mavericks, and you played the Lakers a grand total of 7 times.
Would you meet me here then? They're a different team. I still believe them to be, as of right now, this Warrior team that I'm seeing the last, I'm going to say month and a half, 2 months. Let's just throw that out there. I think they're a good team, not a great team. To me, they are a click below the elite teams in the league. Let's put Denver up to top, right? Denver is in a category all to themselves. Can they play a 7-game series against OKC and knock them off? Sure, I think they can. I do. I do think the Warriors can.
Too.
But here's where I think that the Warriors do fall in trouble against these elite teams. Not having a clearly defined, legitimate number 2 who's established, I think it really hurts them in those fourth quarters against those good teams. The great teams, I guess. Let's just put it that way. And I look at a team like OKC. They're so young. If they were like 4 years into their little run, I'd probably view them differently. And I would probably give them more of the benefit of the doubt. But there are times when I watch the Warriors in the fourth quarter and I'm like, they feel very Steph reliant, and you need that second guy to emerge and come through. And that's why the Kuminga ascension has been so important to their jump the last 2 months.
I agree. Kuminga, and Draymond said it a couple weeks ago, he's our bona fide number 2 option. And I like the fact when they just dump the ball off to him and he doesn't settle for the 3-point shot. I thought on the road trip, look, he attempted 2 threes yesterday, 5 total threes he attempted on his 4-game road trip. To me, his shot selection is so much better. And those fadeaways yesterday, they're going to drop for him. He's been hitting that shot all season long. The little 10-foot fadeaway, 10-foot rise above everybody, leaping ability that he's showing off there. Kuminga's going to be fine. So can he be that number 2 option? Is that a guy you can get the ball to in the fourth quarter and at least draw you a foul and get to the free throw line? We shall see. Let's go to Coach Hall in San Diego. Coach Hall, what's happening? You're on the roast.
Hey, good morning, fellas. Welcome back, Joe.
Thank you. Man, I appreciate that.
No problem, man. So I think it is disrespectful. I hear you, Joe, but I remember you saying, when they were doing that to Draymond, especially when Nurk was doing it, how disrespectful it was. I mean, Jaylen Brown's a not two-time, but he's an all-star, and like he's not a scrub. We let him give up, drop 19 points in the first quarter. That's just crazy to me. But I agree with you as far as like a number 2 scorer. I don't see us having that, and I just don't see a path for us to get out the play-in, man. Like I'm trying to really reach and search for some kind of like hope, but I don't know. What do you guys think? Like, do you guys really see us getting out of the play-in or out of the first round?
Well, I look at a team like I look at the Phoenix Suns, and they're right now they're in the 6th seed, right? How can you have a definitive opinion on the Phoenix Suns?
They're 7th right now, tied with Sacramento. Sacramento and Phoenix tied. But tie-breaking purposes, Sacramento's in that 6th spot. But Phoenix needs a point guard.
Yeah, but
watching them last night, I mean, they haven't had Bill and Booker and Durant together for a long time. And they just look discombobulated.
They look like they haven't played a lot of basketball together.
They don't look like they're clicking on all cylinders. And OKC took it to them. OKC took it to them last night in Phoenix. It wasn't even, like, that game wasn't even close. I damn near fell asleep on it.
But I guess my bigger point is, like, I look at around the West, it's like Denver is in a class all to their own.
Right. Denver's number 1.
Right? And then, like, who doesn't like Oklahoma City? Like, they're fun. They're a lot of fun. They play with a specific style, and the ball's hopping, and they got a lot of swagger and comments, and they have a lot of players.
Right.
They have a lot of really...
Gordon Hayward has actually been not a bad move for them. Veteran presence, not bad.
When you look at their bench and guys are coming in, like even Isaiah Joe can have a night where he goes for 15 to 25. You know what I mean? Like they've got a lot of really nice players. Okay, so I look at OKC, I'm like, all right, they're good. Like Dallas, I'm watching Luca yesterday. I have him as my top 2. I have 2 guys right now in sports who I know are tremendously talented, and I just can't stand them. It's him and Patrick Mahomes, even though he's not as good as Patrick Mahomes in his particular sport. But I can't watch him. I can't watch him.
Luka's been doing?
Yeah, he's amazing. He's amazing.
Like, this guy.
And he was wearing a jersey for the Mavericks that I didn't even recognize. And there's so many jerseys in the NBA. We've gone jersey crazy. It's just nuts. They're wearing like some black jersey I've never seen before.
Luca Doncic is averaging 34.5 points. 9 rebounds and damn near 10 assists.
Absolutely
look at these stat lines. I'm just going to read these stat lines. I'm going to read these stat lines from the All-Star break.
Yeah, give it to me.
41-11-9 against Phoenix. 33-6-6 against Indiana. 45-14-9 against Cleveland. 30-16-11 against Toronto. Against Boston last Friday. 37-11-12. And then yesterday, 38-11-10. Like, the guy is a walking triple-double. And look, I know Dallas is right now in the play-in, but he's a problem. When you get into a series, he can take it over.
He's amazing.
This guy's unbelievable.
But what separates him from James Harden? When James Harden was doing similar, I'm not saying the same, but similar things.
I think his game is a little more diversified to James Harden. He will hit the step-back 3. There's no doubt about that. He'll pull up the step-back 3. He gets to the line like Harden. He's physical.
Dribbles like Harden.
He dribbles like Harden, but man, he's 6'7", and he's just a problem. Like,
yeah, but I feel like we've rejected him as a society.
Who, Harden?
No, Luca Doncic. Like, we've already seen this play out with James Harden, and I feel like America's like, nah.
But you know why? You know what the difference is between Luca and James Harden? I think we've seen in the playoffs that Harden's teams have just crumbled when it's time to crumble. Like, Luca, we see Luca go to a Game 7 in Phoenix and beat the Suns by 30. We seen him give the Warriors hell in that 5-game series, although Wiggins did his thing in slowing him down in that Western Conference Finals. We've seen him in playoff series in the bubble go at it with the Clippers saying, I ain't no punk. You ain't finna punk me out here. I'm going to talk that talk. It just feels like Luka has been a little more mentally tougher than Harden in those playoff games than Harden. But you're right. It's very similar when you see a lot of numbers in the regular season and you got to see it in the playoffs or whatnot. The ball pounding, the dribble. But he's just... I don't know.
I find him unlikable.
Yeah?
I do. And the All-Star game, you weren't here. Him and Jokic, if they're going to take over the league in terms of like them be the guys to carry the torch, can you care like an ounce? Can you care an ounce? I'm watching the two of them, and they're not even chuckling. They're just like miserable out there. And it's like, come on, guys. If you just lean into it a little, just like smile, just a little bit.
All-Star game needs a lot of work. It needs a lot of work.